Hello everyone, welcome to JMac Investing. My name is Jason. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. It's been a minute since I've connected with you guys. I've had a really busy week, had some family in town, so I feel like it's been forever since I dropped the video. So I got a lot to talk about. Let's take a few minutes here and catch up on the news from this week. Let's jump into it. Okay, so I hope you all are doing well. And like I said, it's been a really busy week with SPAC. There's been lots of news dropping, lots of transactions taking place, and a lot going on. And I've been itching to make a video, but I had some family in town from out of state. Some of you may or may not know, but I work full-time. I work a full-time job. And then having family in town, I just wasn't able to break away and make a video. So I got a bunch of pent up things that I want to share, want to talk about, want to dive into. I have been very active in my Discords. This information will be recycled for the people that are in my Patreon group and in the Discord. But I try to shed some light on a few of these big news items that took place this week. So one thing I wanted to dive into, first off, I created this meme this week because Chamath Palihapitiya is on a tear. You know, he had two SPACs waiting, ready to merge and acquire companies, IPOB and IPOC. And then he went ahead and bought up pretty much all of the rest of the letters. So IPOB through IPOZ. I think there's one that he wasn't able to grab, but he's going to be churning out SPACs. And so I shared this GIF, and I got some feedback that someone didn't know who
Chamath Palihapitiya
was. By the way, that's hilarious that the old gent there wasn't able to quite get Chamath's name right there. Just like some people on social media, when I shared the gift, they didn't know who Chamath was. So Chamath Palihapitiya is the modern day, probably the best investor out right now in the modern era. Go out, learn more about him. A couple of his big investments are, he's invested into the Golden State Warriors. He brought forth Virgin Galactic with one of his earlier SPAC, was a PIPE investor in MP Materials, FVAC SPAC. He led the PIPE again for Desktop Metal, TRNE. He just knows the market. He knows technology. He was an early member of Facebook. So if you don't know who Chamath is, you got to get to know him and follow his moves. Follow him on Twitter. He just this week went on a tear, giving his philosophy about investing. So that leads us to IPOB. This week was announced that they are bringing forth Opendoor, which is a online real estate company. They will issue you an all-cash offer and buy your home, and then they take your home and then they resell it. Here's the announcement on Opendoor. You can see comes in with an enterprise value of $4.8 billion. Essentially what Chamath's business thesis on this one is that residential real estate remains the largest undisrupted market in the U.S. with $1.6 trillion in annual home sales and less than 1% online penetration. For consumers, the current process of buying or selling a home is complex, uncertain, time-consuming, and offline. Opendoor as the innovator and market leader in iBuying. So these guys literally are the leader. Some folks quite not understanding that these guys are the leader. Zillow recently got into this market as well, but they are behind Opendoor. Opendoor has generated much more revenue with this and is the leader and has a much larger market share of this online home buying and selling process. So they are currently in 21 markets across the U.S. in all of the big metro areas that people are flocking and moving to. Areas like Phoenix, Dallas, Fort Worth, Raleigh-Durham, Atlanta, and Orlando. The founder and CEO, he came over from Trulia, was one of the higher up on the team over at Trulia. So at any rate, my take on this one is that after looking over and checking out, if you compare Opendoor's current revenues and projected revenue and compare it and contrast it to Zillow's. Zillow actually has ran up. It's now trading over $94. Obviously here with IPOB, which is the SPAC you would be buying that's merging with Opendoor, it's trading at around $15 right now. So enterprise value of 4.8, which might be up to around 6 or 6.5 billion right now. Zillow's market cap's well over 20 billion right now. So you're looking at quite a bit of difference between these two, even though Opendoor has more sales and more revenue than Zillow. So I could see this an easy 5 to 10x type of a company. And that's the bull thesis and the investment thesis that Chamath also has on this one. So don't sleep on this one. I personally would just say avoid the naysayers that are not really seeing the big picture here, and the fact that I think the only negative thing I've seen is they don't have some of the greatest reviews. So that would be my one, if I would say, cautionary thing to say about them is they'd have to clean some of that up. But I think with Chamath being invested, and just like he did with Virgin Galactic, he was on the scene on a lot of their early press and stuff. So he's gonna have a hand into it. And since I believe he'll make sure that they clean up some of their acts. So if they do that and they continue to sell the way they have in the past, it's easy 5 to 10x company. I mean, this could be a $75, $100 stock post merger, not too long, within a couple years. So that's one of the big news items that hit this week. Another big article / rumored acquisition potentially is one company that I have been keeping an eye on and have been wanting to merge for some time, and that is Chargepoint, which is and would be the largest EV charging station publicly traded company if this does happen. Like I said, it came through an article very, very similar to how Canoe had an article break through Bloomberg. Always looking for trusted sources here, not Reddit or Twitter or StockTwits. This came from a very trusted news agency. But you still should, proceed with a little bit of caution, because you want to wait on the definitive agreement to take place. But here is the actual article that Reuters, September 16th, 2 days ago, says EV charge network Chargepoint nears deal to go public, sources say. So Chargepoint, one of the world's oldest and largest EV vehicle charging stations, is nearing a deal to go public in a reverse merger with Switchback Energy Acquisition Corporation. People familiar with the matter said on Wednesday. So Switchback Energy's ticker symbol is SBE. And the deal for Chargepoint could value the company at more than $2 billion and be announced as early as next week, the sources says, cautioning that talks could still collapse and terms may change. So you have to keep that in mind. But on this news, this has already begun to break up. The stock price has begun to break upwards on this one. I went ahead and locked in some shares and some warrants personally myself, but I still want to get more, and I want to, before I go probably way bigger than I am currently, I'll wait on a definitive agreement to be signed by Chargepoint. I've done a video on Blink Charging, which, like I said, up to this point was the largest publicly traded EV charger company on the market, publicly traded. So in my findings and research, Chargepoint has around 49,000 network connected EV chargers, which is more than double what Blink Charging has. So this will be huge, and the reason I really love it and really am excited about it, and we'll do a much deeper dive video. I'll be doing a deeper dive video on Opendoor, and I'll also be doing a deeper dive video here on Chargepoint as well. But like I said, I've actually had my eye on Chargepoint and have been waiting for a SPAC to acquire these guys and or them to IPO, right? So because this, like I said, this is like the infrastructure play of electric vehicles. I know Tesla has their own network, but outside of Tesla, all these other cars that are coming online with everything from all these announcements, Ford, Volvo, Chevrolet, Hyundai, you name it, Fisker, Li Auto, Candy, all of these companies are going to start churning out FUV, Arcimoto, Ira, you name them. They're going to have the standard chargers that will work with these types of EV chargers. And so as the EV vehicle numbers begin to increase, which they are over the next 2 to 5 years, they're just going to explode on the scene. Numbers will be exploding of EV vehicles. So you'll need these all over apartment complexes, condo, townhouses, parking garages, parking deck, all over the place. These will be going in, and it's real simple to compare and contrast the like Blink and Chargepoint. All you got to do is go to the App Store and Google Play Store and look at the reviews, and you can see how many downloads Chargepoint has, and you can see they're at 4.5, 4.6 star ratings. It's a phenomenal company, phenomenally ran, phenomenal hardware, and it's going to just grow by osmosis because of the growth of the electric vehicle market. I'm all about it. I'm gonna be super bullish on it. You're gonna see a lot of videos coming from me on ChargePoint, almost like Hyliion excited. So stay tuned for my deep dive on that one. All right, so then the final really kind of big piece of news that broke really late last night was that another new merger was announced with Pivotal Investment Corporation and XL Fleet. You see XL Fleet, a commercial vehicle electrification solutions leader, to list on the New York Stock Exchange through merger with Pivotal Investment. And it says they are a leading provider of electrified powertrain solutions for the U.S. and Canadian fleet vehicles built by Ford, Chevrolet, GMC, and Isuzu. Thousands of XL units already on the road, over 130 miles driven by its more than 200 customers, including FedEx, Coke, PepsiCo, Verizon, the City of Boston, Seattle Fire Department, Yale, and Harvard. And it says they got strong demand momentum with 220 million 12-month sales pipeline and forecasted revenue of 21 million in 2020 and 75 million in 2021. So strong demand, but if that's going to be their revenue, doesn't sound very strong to me. Sounds like it's going to take a whole lot of units for them to make really any kind of money. And this is almost like a bolt-on product, kind of like the hybrid version of Hyliion, which is going to be not their focus. Hyliion's focus will be on the full electrified powertrain solution. So this is like kind of like a wannabe Hyliion, but this is more like the hybrid version of Hyliion, which is not at all going to be their moneymaker. So to me, this doesn't have the flair. This doesn't have the, they'll have a place in the market share for a while, but I don't see it as an innovator and a solution that's long-term. So a short-term play, sure, it may be. Am I jazzed about it? No, not at all. And we had a discussion in my Discord with my Patreon members, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't me just my emotional attachment to Hyliion keeping me blinded from this company. And as we began to talk it over, even looking at the numbers of ROI, the return on investment, to put one of these on, I think we were doing the math, and it was around $9K, and it would be about $1,700 in savings per year. So it would take quite a few years to actually for one of these things to pay for itself. So I don't see fleets really flocking to this unless they're just wanting to have some publicity or some headlines. This one doesn't have what I want in a SPAC, so I'm not real enthused about it. Now, of course, in the market, I think agreed, and it did not run up like most SPACs that have hype and that look like they are something that's has a ton of potential. But we'll see. And like I said, I haven't done a deep dive on this. I'll try to circle back around and see if there's something I'm missing with this. At first glance, doesn't seem like something I'll probably be investing in. So stay tuned, and I'll try to come back to it. At any rate, that is the 3 different big topics that broke this week. If you feel like this content's providing you some value, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, turn on the notification bell. That'll get you notified as new videos come out. And consider joining the Patreon group. I've been talking about it on and off throughout the whole video because it's very time consuming for me because I spend a lot of time in Discord with the group there. News breaks all the time, just like this Chargepoint. That article dropped late in the day on a couple days ago at like 4 p.m. Within minutes, one of the Discord members had gotten the notification, shared it with us. We all got in within minutes of that article breaking. Great place to be if you want to make sure you get in on some of these plays early. If you want to, patreon.com/JMac investing. That's all I got. Till next time, guys. Deuces.